I'm Josh Torres. I've been in auto sales for about 7 years now. What I would recommend would be sit down, do the math, find out what your budget is because you want to know what you can afford before you even walk into a car dealership. Different dealerships, sometimes they'll upsell you, or sometimes you just might fall in love with a vehicle that's beautiful, but it's beyond your budget. So that's a big part. You also want to know the type of vehicle that's going to fit your everyday life. If you're planning on just commuting, you're going to want to look for something that gets great fuel economy. If you're into sports, you're going to need something with room for your baseball bats. That takes a drastic impact as far as the type of vehicle that you can get, because the better your credit score is, the lower the interest rate you're going to get. Having a high interest rate is going to bump up your payment drastically, and there's times where people come in and have not the perfect credit and have a high interest rate. At that point in time, you're paying the bank more and getting less vehicle. Having better credit allows you to buy more vehicle, pay less to the bank. Here what we do is we do like a needs analysis. What does this person really need? But and some customers will come in with already knowing what they need. Sometimes if you're looking for like a short-term vehicle before you go into the Marines, whatever the case may be, before you transfer to a different school, a lot of people do like a short-term lease, 2-year, 3-year lease, because that's going to fit their lifestyle. And if you're looking to lease, you would be looking at a new vehicle. Some people are looking for a long-term vehicle, which is, hey, look, you know what, this is what I can afford over the next 5 years. I need a vehicle that's going to fit me going to the beach, commuting to school, work, whatever the case is. But at that point, if you go with a new car, a lot of people are searching for a payment, which is more of a lease. If you're going with a used car, you're looking long term. A benefit of buying a used also is it's already taken a depreciation. Anytime you buy a new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, you're losing whatever you paid for taxes, whatever you paid for DMV fees, and it's just taking a dip as far as the market value of the vehicle, because now it is now a used vehicle. Having to buy a used car, if you do end up buying a used car, you're buying something that's at market value. The market's already determined the value of the vehicle. If you do look to buy a used car, I would recommend buying a certified used vehicle. For instance, our vehicles, if it's certified, you get a 6-year, 100,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. If you go to BMW, same thing. So it's anytime you want to buy a used car, it's a peace of mind, because you're signing a contract for 5 years. You would want to assure that the vehicle's under warranty if that's what your budget is. A lot of times when you walk into a car dealership, or just if you're looking to buy a big item, for instance like a computer, you know you need a computer, but I mean there's so many computers out there that you're like, what do I really need? Same thing with vehicles. You walk in, you're like, well, what do I really need? I know I need a car, just what type of car? So what we do is find out, what is it for work? Is it just for the weekends? Do you do a lot of driving? Roughly about how many miles a year do you drive? And do you have kids? If you have kids, you're going to need more room. If you have a pet, stuff like that. So you always want to find out what the person is utilizing the vehicle for. So it's kind of a personal way to kind of find out the type of vehicle that the person needs to match them up with the right vehicle. Otherwise, someone will come in And it happens. I mean, I'll walk into a computer store and I'm like, wow, that's such a nice computer. That's what I want. But it's not what I need. So if you figure out what you're utilizing it for, then that's what you need. It's definitely has changed the way car buying experiences goes, or even how auto dealers price their vehicles, because nowadays within 5 minutes of being online you can go to AutoTrader, Cars.com, Craigslist. You can literally find out every single option on a vehicle, what every vehicle of that same make and model, similar equipment, is selling for from anywhere here to 500 miles. So nowadays you really have a lot of tools with having the internet to finding out what a good deal is before you even walk into a dealership. Before it was like you would go from dealer to dealer. Now you don't even have to go, because now everyone has pictures, has pricing, has the options listed. And you can say, whoa, wow, this guy's a little expensive here, let me check another one. Wow, why is this one less? And they're just being more competitive. Buying more than they need. That's been a big factor throughout the years that I've noticed. Someone will come in and really push their limits as far as what they really need, just because it looks pretty. They want to pay more, and they're willing to pay more, but that's not what their wallet seems to think is the right thing to do. And that's probably the biggest mistake people do. They buy something based on looks instead of practicality. So that's one of the biggest mistakes. Second biggest mistake is repeat customers not paying their payments on time. It makes it really difficult for them to get another vehicle or another auto loan, because then the bank goes, I just loaned you so much, but you were late so many times. Do I really want to take that risk again? So it's a couple big mistakes that people do. Third is not maintain their vehicle. Anytime you take care of a vehicle, it's going to last longer for you. So maintenance is takes a big part as far as the longevity of the vehicle that you're using and you're buying. Program that a lot of people get and end up buying when they buy a new car is they prepay for the maintenance up front. Most of the time it ends up saving them money in the long run, because you're getting it serviced at a dealership, and every time you walk in you're not paying. It's not nickel and diming you, basically. So that way you know exactly what that vehicle is costing you on a daily basis. That's actually one of the main reasons why a lot of people end up buying from a big dealership, is rather than one of those mom and pops, smaller lots. It's because they can buy, if it's a new car or if it's a certified pre-owned, or even if it's a pre-owned vehicle and they end up buying a warranty, it's a peace of mind for them as far as what happens if I am in college and 4 years down the road my car needs a new engine. If it's under warranty, you take it into a dealership, you may pay a deductible and that's it. So to have a vehicle under warranty, it's very important. Do the research before you walk into a dealership. Nowadays you can go on a lot of sites to read reviews of personal experiences from previous customers. Do the research as far as what are the competitive rates. One thing I would recommend for everyone to do is check with your bank before you walk into a dealership. What interest rates are they offering? A lot of the times customers will come in, I can't get them financed, personal bank credit issues. They go to their personal bank, they get a check cut. Makes it a lot easier because you're already their customer. And then just finding out what good prices are, doing a needs analysis on yourself of knowing what you need versus what you want, and what you can afford.